Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name is Sarah, also known as Laugh Lovely Angela, and in today's video I figured it would be a fun video to do a 3-year recap of us living in our home. We bought our house in July of 2022, and even in these short 3 years, it feels short at times and it feels like it's been so much longer also, we have accomplished so very much taking this builder grade home and making it custom made, doing DIY projects. So we're going to go through the years, see what we've accomplished in our house, and I hope you guys enjoy. Refreshing your space, whether it be doing a room, the exterior of your home, doesn't need to break the bank. Something as simple as a fresh coat of paint can make all the difference. Our front door and shutters, I painted Sherwin-Williams iron ore for a super budget-friendly facelift, but I knew I wanted to take it one step further, swapping out our light fixture, which also was a budget-friendly find from Home Depot. It is unfortunately not available, but this was an under $50 find that made a huge world of difference for really giving a facelift to our front porch and helping modernize the space. Before we even moved into our home, and shortly after as well, we did paint the entire house Sherwin-Williams Snowbound. It is this beautiful creamy white color, but I also wanted to do a simple swap for the light fixtures in our kitchen, as the other ones were super small, not our style either. So I found these really great look for less options on Amazon that were around $100 a piece. Again, a super budget friendly find that made a huge difference in our kitchen without even needing to touch the countertops or cabinets. The very first space that we tackled start to finish was our half bathroom downstairs. This is a space that we use every single day and see constantly, and this builder grade bathroom was just not cutting it even though it was fully functional. While we were looking to refresh the entire space, we were also looking to keep it budget friendly, and at this point we're not doing the flooring throughout our home, so we went with these Chris Loves Julia peel and stick floor tiles from Wall Pops, and they were the perfect way of being able to test out something a little bit different without breaking the bank. We also wanted to add some character and color in the space. We made our own shiplap, and I picked out this beautiful color by Valspar called Timber Green to make a bold statement in the space. And even looking back 2.5 years later and still enjoying this space, we still love this green color. It is a true green. Our built-ins are Urbane bronze, and they definitely are a chameleon. Depending on the lighting, it can read a little differently, but this is a beautiful true green that we love in the space still to this day. For the vanity, I found one that I really loved from Pottery Barn, but I didn't love the price tag. So I actually found this DIY account on Instagram called Pine and Poplar DIY, and they made their own plans showing you how you could do it yourself, and that is exactly what we did. We just adjusted as necessary to make it fit the scale of our space, adding some wall jewelry to the space. And here is a finished look at how our half bathroom turned out, keeping this budget friendly, but still making a beautiful statement, taking it from builder grade to custom made. If you would like to see a more in-depth overview for how I created the mood board for the space, picked my finishes and everything, I actually did a 3-part series that I will have linked down below in the video description, but you can also check out my playlist. I have a DIY playlist covering home decor and home renovation, but I also have an Our First Home playlist covering all the projects that we have done thus far in our home. The next space we tackled was our entryway, and this is a true before shot of the beige color that was in every single space of our home. We did paint the whole house Sherwin-Williams snowbound, as I mentioned, but our entryway space was severely lacking any personality or character. So I head out to my local Lowe's and picked up some super budget-friendly wall trim. I have always loved box molding in homes, but I wanted to do it in a really delicate way that just added some visual interest, but also just blended in with everything else. I kept my spacing uniform, going 4 inches from the corners and outer edges and from the top and bottom boxes from each other. That way it just gave a very classic, timeless look. And I love that this trim is thin enough that you're able to use miter shears. You don't need to walk back and forth to the garage a million times to make a cut. It's super simple. Just throw some brad nails on it, caulk the seams, fill the holes, and give it a fresh coat of paint. And it's as simple as that. In the last couple of years, they've come out with some box trim that is even simpler. It's clicked together and it has a double-sided tape, so you can just pop it right on the wall, no power tools needed, but this is simple enough for me, and I just love the impact that it makes in our home. We loved it so much that we actually continued this in our living room as well, wrapping it around the window wall in the front of our home, and it's exactly what this space needed. The next space we tackled was early last year in our son's bedroom. He was beginning middle school and needed a more mature space to wind down after a long day, hang out with friends. And so we knew this was the perfect opportunity to really make statement moments happen. And our house overall severely lacks storage. And then you add on top of it a child who is obsessed with Legos, and it's just a recipe for disaster. So we knew we were going to do a built-in desk and shelf situation for him, building it all from scratch to best optimize the space. For the desk, we did doors on the bottom so that way he could have some closed cabinetry for different supplies, Lego instruction books and such. And the top, we did open shelving so he could display said Legos, his books, and anything else he'd like to express himself with. The color he actually chose himself. It is Midnight Blue by Behr, and I could not have personally chosen a better color than this. It is such a beautiful, deep navy blue. I absolutely love it and would love to find another space to put this in as well, but the light blue that you're seeing here is tinted primer. It is suggested when you're doing any darker paint colors to do that. Not technically necessary, but absolutely love the bold statement that these shelves make. From there, we rolled into the finishing touches for the space. So we picked out a rug that had both blue and green undertones, as those are his favorite colors. And I found this Jenny Lind style bed that he really liked and spray painted it black, so that way it had a more masculine feel and would help define the space really well. Bedding wise, we went with Beddys, so it is super simple and easy for him to make his bed each day, and in one of his favorite colors, green. My son loves video games, so for art, we knew we had to lean into that. We picked out this Hyrule map that we found on Amazon, as Zelda's one of his favorites, and he also loves Minecraft. I saw this really cool piece on Pottery Barn's website and wanted to recreate it, and it was such a fun DIY to do together as well. We got these mini canvases, painted them different colors, and then I used hot glue to create Minecraft trees with them using double-sided tape to hang them. So super DIY friendly, a super fun activity to do as a family as well. We did these really cool trees, and then we also did a Minecraft axe as well. And here is a completed look at how our son's bedroom makeover came together. It really better expresses his style and just all the things that he loves, and it makes me so happy that he is still enjoying it even now a year later. We have since replaced the carpet with the laminate flooring that we have throughout our home, but it turned out so good and I love it. We do have a full video showing this makeover, so in case you missed seeing it last year, I will have that linked in the video description as well, but it's still so incredible. Moving into the biggest project, or projects I should say, of 2024 are the fireplace, but also the flooring throughout our entire home. So the way this project actually started was replacing the flooring. So here's a quick look back. If you have only joined here recently, this is what our flooring looked like when we purchased our home. We found out we were having little miss last year and decided that this was probably the best time to let the house be in shambles, and let's replace the flooring in our entire 2,000 square foot home ourselves. The thought process behind it was actually that we did not want to be doing this with a newborn, and I have to say I am so glad that we just grin and bared it and got it done last year, because I absolutely would not want to be doing this right now with a 7-month-old baby. I am so incredibly thankful that my husband and I worked as hard as we did. My mother-in-law helped demo as well. And the thought process behind doing the fireplace was actually because we did not want to be careful with the new flooring. We were able to demo the fireplace with the old flooring, and so we were able to make a mess and just slam things around, and it was 100% the right choice. So for our new flooring, we went with Cali Floors Legends line in the color Catamaran. It's a nice, warm, lighter tone. I really love darker wood as accent pieces, but I love lighter wood floors. And this has a beautiful variation. It does read warm, not cool. We put the underlayment down. We laid our first 2 rows and really made sure that everything was nice and as straight as possible.
So something I've been doing that's actually been helping speed the process up, it is so chaotic in our house right now, so bear with me, is I have been unboxing the patterns and matching them with each other, but mixing what box they are from, so that way in case we have any variations, I can spread them throughout the whole floor. And then I've also been pre-laying a couple rows at a time, because once you have your groove going, you can just skate down the line and just do one after another, and it's coming along so nicely.
This green material is the underlayment. Since we are putting it directly on concrete, you need to have a moisture barrier. And so that's what this is. I'm duct taping the seams of it so that there's no lifting. So this is what I would do when my husband was working. And I would also pre-lay out a couple different rows of flooring. So as soon as he got off work, we would just grind out for a couple hours, and I could spend the time nitpicking which patterns were going with what, so I was avoiding repeats. And I have to say, since laying flooring, I personally would pay somebody else to do it. I think this is a one and done situation for us. Now, the second half of the largest project of 2024 was the fireplace. And like I mentioned before, the timeline of this was expedited because we were already demoing the flooring, and we did not want to be spending all this time and effort laying new beautiful floors just to mess them up. We demoed the fireplace with the help of my mother-in-law, and my husband and I reframed the entire wall for the fireplace. We also went out to a local shop in Davidson to pick out a mantle that could not match our flooring any better if we tried, and then enlisted the help of our son to help us put this mantle on. We had to drill out all the holes ourselves multiple times. This thing is a few 100 pounds and is going absolutely nowhere. Then we took our first trip to Lowe's of many, building our cabinet boxes from scratch, as we had very specific dimensions that we were working with. We're doing closed cabinetry on the bottom and open shelving for the top. My mom and I spent a few hours dry laying the stone, so that way my husband and I could just go when it came time to actually putting it on the fireplace, and it made a world of difference for us. For the fireplace, we did a stone veneer. It is Dorado rough cut in the color Loire Valley. And for grout, I wanted an overgrouted look to give that aged character I am so desperately trying to introduce into our home. And for that, we use Poly Blend Plus in the color Snow White to give a creamy look without being overly bright. For the grout, we would apply it and let it settle for a couple minutes, going in with our fingers and hand smudging it, letting it sit for about 10 minutes or so, and I went back in with a damp sponge to help soften the edges. So since the downstairs is open concept, everything is painted the snowbound color that we have, and there's no way of introducing another color in a purposeful sense. So I knew that the built-ins were going to provide that much needed stark contrast. So I went with Sherwin-Williams Urbane Bronze. It is this deep, rich brown color, providing that moody contrast in the space against the stone and the wall color. And it can read green or gray depending on the lighting. For the upper portion of the shelves, we did a shiplap backing to continue that vertical sightline and did the same thing for concealing those 2x4 boxes. For hardware, I went with Unlaquered brass. The hinges were from Etsy and the door latches were from Rejuvenation. I wanted something that would be a little bit of jewelry and contrast the bold pink color. My husband built all the doors from scratch. My father-in-law assisted with the routering of it all, but then it was up to me for the finishing work of painting these doors. And this was just such a full circle moment getting to this point, because for so long this has been a vision living in my head, and it was so exciting to see it come to life. Here is a finished look at how our fireplace built-in project turned out. I could not love it more. This is the absolute vision that has been living in my head since we bought this house of what I wanted to accomplish in this space. It has those beautiful rustic pieces. It has that modern charm and touch to it. I just absolutely love it. So in case you missed, I have 2 videos showcasing the full makeover of how we made this happen. I also did a styling video for these massive built-ins for the summer season. So in case you missed that, I will have that link down below. Definitely be sure to check it out. And the most recent project that has begun is actually in our primary bedroom. And this one is more so an honorable mention because not much has changed since the last update. So here is just a quick look at where the space was. The only things that have happened in here thus far are a fresh coat of paint, again, Sherwin-Williams Snowbound, and we replaced all the flooring last year. And so we want to bring in some charm and character in the space and just really make it a cozy moment for us to wind down after a long day. So I love wall molding, as you guys know, and this was just such a budget-friendly way to dress up the space, add something to the walls without being overbearing and busy. Now, life with a 7-month-old means that I don't own my calendar necessarily anymore. So where I left off in our last Making Home series video in this space is actually about where it's at right now too. I've caulked some of the seams, I filled in some of the holes. So hopefully I'll get a weekend or 2 and be able to knock out the rest of this and get to painting. So I'm excited to share with you guys, and stay tuned. So that is going to wrap up today's video, friends. I sure hope you enjoyed taking a look back at all that we have accomplished in these last 3 years. We still have so many projects in the works, in the horizon. There's plenty still coming your way, and we are just enjoying every moment of it. We are making an effort to just work on one thing at a time, but
taking it day by day, honestly, especially with the little babe. But I hope you guys enjoyed my next video. We will be continuing the early fall decorating inspiration, and you don't want to miss out on that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here today, friends, and I will see you in my next video.